Well, good morning there from Shenzhen. Heading over to the metro station now to go to the main train station. Shouldn't take too long. But I'm having a bit of a problem here. Since I came back to China, well, mostly since I left Shanghai and went to the places that are a bit more humid, I am sweating like a pig, like my armpits. I've got deodorant and stuff, but it's not working. Like, it's just not working, and I don't get it. Maybe I need some specialised, like, Chinese one, but Asian people don't sweat like us Western people, you know? I just don't know what to do. Like, I keep reapplying and that works, but, you know, usually you don't have to. Usually you do it in the morning, you're good to go. I don't know. I just can't explain it. I'm baffled. Maybe you've had that problem. Maybe you've got some tips. But by the time I get those tips from you, I won't be here because the schedule. But anyway, it'd be good to know for next time. So please, if you know how to stop sweating while I'm traveling around China, please let me know. It's just the armpits, you know. This is a nice walk along here. I could have got a bus to the metro station, but the weather is pretty nice today. It's not too hot. It's pretty, I'd say it's mild actually, but I'm still feeling sweaty. So I said, yeah, you know what, let's take a little walk. It's not really that far to the main metro station, so I'll head there and then we make our way to Guangzhou. Quite interested to check out Guangzhou. I've heard it's good. As a matter of fact, the girl I was talking to in the Shanghai hostel, sorry, I had to think for a sec, the American girl, she had been there up to a couple of days ago, and she messaged me on Instagram and she said, yeah, it's pretty cool, the food is good, so, and she liked the city, so at least I have something to kind of look forward to then, you know, unless she was lying. But yeah, let's make our way over to Guangzhou. Well, here we are in Guangzhou South Station. It was only a 35-minute train journey, so not much. It was like a bus journey basically, very quick, efficient, nice clean, big, spacious train with nice air conditioning. So I have to get the metro here, line 2, which should be straight ahead. And then, yeah, check in and then check out Guangzhou. We'll head over. I was talking to the American girl. I was saying to her, she told me that the Beijing Pedestrian Street area is kind of good for looking for a bit of food and stuff, so we probably go over there and check it out after I get all sorted. Let's go. So I'm just making my way down this long industrial kind of looking road. Where I'm going and where I'm staying is right at the end of this road. And I can't see it yet because this road stretches on a little bit further than the camera can see. But I got off the train station just back there, and I could have changed over to this. It's called a tram. I don't actually know if it is a proper tram or not, but this would have brought me right down to the hotel within probably less than 10 minutes. But I'm too early. You know, the check-in times, you know, for hotels here, they're pretty flexible. A lot of the time they will let you check in early if they don't have like a full booked out hotel. But I said, you know what, we'll just get off the train. It's a 25-minute walk. Why not just get out of the train station, get a bit of fresh air here in Guangzhou. That looks like a school, I think, or an athletics club or something. It is something child tribe, so I think it's a school or something, but whatever, it's pretty cool. They do take their sports and stuff very seriously here. They're quite competitive, like the children. You'll see them in the schoolyards and the playgrounds. They're always doing drills, whether it's with basketballs, like gymnastics. They're always doing something. So yeah, I just wanted to get out, walk a bit. You know, why not? That's what you're here for. You're here to get out. You're here to go look around, see what's really happening. Now, as I said, I don't know if I said this actually. But where I'm staying is just outside like the city, the main part. And I did that on purpose because I find most of the time that when you're staying in a big city, you know, it's nice to be able to just go to a little bit of a quieter part. Just maybe 15 minutes outside. It makes a big difference. It's not always chaos. You can breathe, you know what I mean? Anyway, we'll make our way on to my hotel that I forget the name of. Something Flower Hotel. Probably a bad translation, but let's go. Actually, let's not go. I will tell you something that happened on the train, and I want to warn you, if you're in China, please be careful of this, because we were all sitting down, you know, well, not everyone, but people were sitting down and people were still coming onto the train. Some woman had about half a plastic cup of iced coffee. Just, she put it on the tray that she pulled down, you know. But she's very lucky that it was iced, because ahead of her, this older fella got on it. Older, he's in his 50s, I'd say. And like a lot of people here in China on the trains, what they do, they don't easily like lean their seat back, you know, or they don't check behind to make sure whatever, the person's fine with it, or, you know, just whatever. This guy just pushed back her iced coffee, spilled on her. So just be careful, because if that was a hot coffee, you know, that could have been a completely different story. But just be careful, because I find, just an observation in China, people are not really considerate of stuff like that. You know, like they won't watch the person behind them and see, like, actually, do you know what, maybe I shouldn't, or I'll go slowly. They don't do that, they just push back. So yeah, just a heads up, if you are on the Chinese trains, just be very, very careful and hold it until either the person in front of you has sat down for a few minutes and you know they're not going to put it back, or until you find out that there might be nobody in front of you, like in my case. Okay, so here we are, up to the 9th floor from my room. Let's see how it is. 920A. I won't forget that. I'm in a separate building. It's usually the way in China, you might be 2 buildings away or something. So it's just around the corner, it's fine. It's already open. A. Okay. Hold on, let's close this first. Lock it just to be safe. Okay. So, okay, well, this is very simple, but that's fine. All I need is a place to use the toilet and shower quickly in the morning. So, you know what? Oh, look, a washing machine. It's pretty useful, actually. You know what? This is actually not bad at all. It's small, but very practical. You've got a nice view of, well, apartments and flats across the way. A desk. Yeah, this is pretty good. So I think that other door leads to these stairs that go above, but yeah, this is not bad. This is 2 nights, this cost €11 a night. Yeah, pretty good. So yeah, at least I can wash my clothes. I told you, all hotels have these sex toy machines. This is no exception. Well, actually, the ones I've been in so far haven't had them, but my previous experiences in China, they always have these sex toy machines, condoms, whatever you want. You know, when in China, you're going to need them, right? Now we're back out. We're actually going to use the tram. I just have to figure out how to use it, and we're going to make our way towards the Beijing Pedestrian Street area. Just check out what's going on there. So let's go. Now we're finally off the tram and the metro that I had to connect to. So we're going to make our way forward, and we'll go and we'll cross a bridge somewhere further up. And we'll see how it goes from there. See, it's always a safe bet to just follow old people when they're crossing the road, because, you know, people are more hesitant to hit old people because they'll feel bad. But we keep walking and we'll make our way over to Beijing pedestrian zone. It's quite busy around here. Of course, Guangzhou is an absolutely huge city with a huge population, so it's understandable that it's busy everywhere you go. A lot of Africans as well here. And I think I'd read that before about Guangzhou, that it's kind of like a hub for a lot of African businessmen and businesses. It's quite interesting because you don't really see that in China too often, you know. So yeah, it's a little bit of multiculturalism going on here in China. A lot of people wouldn't think that. So this is the bridge we're going to be crossing. It's pretty cool, isn't it? See, there's a lot of weird, like, not weird, but like, they're not typical buildings for Chinese style architecture. In Guangzhou, sorry, not Zhou, Guangzhou, is actually over 2,000 years old. It's about 2,200 years old. It was started as a little, I guess, a trading post during the Qing dynasty, and then through the Song and the Tang dynasty it just grew and grew and grew to this huge monster. And as a matter of fact, in the 18th and 19th century, Guangzhou was actually the only open trading port here in China. So they dealt with, just say, Americans, English and all other nationalities, and those nationalities could set up here trading posts and merchants' houses and whatever. And that was all under the Canton rule. So the people here speak Cantonese, not Mandarin. Well, they speak Mandarin as well. Yeah, so the people speak Cantonese here. It's very different to typical Mandarin Chinese, but still, it's as far as I know, yeah, they can still speak Mandarin, but when they're speaking amongst themselves, they just speak Cantonese. So they'll understand it when you say ni hao, but you might not understand them when they say the variations in in Cantonese. Now it's quite overcast here today, but I bet you when it's really sunny out, middle of summer, maybe even springtime, it's probably lovely to look up here. All the lovely flowers here blooming on the side of the road. They're real, not plastic. Sometimes you have to question stuff like that. But yeah, it's can't believe how big this city is. Like, to think that it started, I know all big cities started as something small, but like, you know, this was pretty small up until maybe 1,000 years ago, and then it just boomed and boomed and boomed. Now it's just big business everywhere. That's like most of the big cities in China, I suppose. Even this building, you can see that it looks very different, doesn't it? It kind of looks like something you'd see in Europe, doesn't it? Like an old English building or something like that. And I suppose that's probably the influence. Maybe, I don't know that building behind me, but that could be one of the merchants' buildings that they built back in the day when the ports had opened for international trade. It's very possible. But you can see, you know, it's actually very like Shanghai. In Shanghai, when you're walking along the Bund, I don't know if you remember, if you've watched my video where it was going on, but you can see, like, here this is a hotel, but all of the banks along the Bund in Shanghai all have a similar kind of look to this. They're old big stone buildings, big concrete buildings, and it's a wonder, that must be it. I'd say these were the old merchants' quarters. Look at this. It's so random. That's China for you though. You never know what you're gonna see, good or bad. You just never know. Every day is basically an adventure. Even if you're in the same place all the time, something new is gonna happen. You're gonna see something new. People are gonna do something weird. You know, animals are gonna be out chewing on something while they're sitting on top of their cages. You just don't know. All I do know is this walkway is nice. Just the weather being overcast, you know, I don't really mind that now because I'm tired of the I'm tired of like the sun all the time, so this is perfect for me. But if you're only here for a short time, like if you're not doing a longer trip like me, then you want it to be sunny, bright. But for me, this is absolutely perfect. It's still pretty warm. There's a breeze now, which is nice, but overall it's still humid. So that building there was actually in the 60s. It was the first dedicated hotel for foreigners here in China. It was specialised in overseas tourists. Well, tourists might be the wrong word, but overseas people. So a lot of history here, and we've got this cool statue beside it that I'm Unfortunately, not sure who it is of, but it still looks pretty damn cool. Well, we've reached the Beijing Road. My god, this is busy here. Now, it's not as busy as some places that I've been, but it's still very busy, especially when you're trying to cross the road. The cars are still trying to go push forward even when the lights are green. People don't give a damn, they're just walking out in front of the cars, even though the people have the right of way, you know. But yeah, this is quite busy. I don't know what all these tents are, whether they're little food stalls or I think they're selling drinks of some kind. It's just so much going on. Noise, lights. Okay, yeah. Oh, it's beers. They're selling beer. Craft beer. Oh, that might not be a bad idea. Nice beer in a while. I have to speed up when I'm walking at certain times just so I don't get caught up waiting for people to move out of the way. And the beer is actually pretty pricey when you look at some of it. Now I know craft beer is always a little bit pricier than normal beer, but you're talking like 80 yuan, which is like 10 euro. That's, you know, that is pricey. Especially for China, it's pricey. Technically, you could come along and just buy a beer in the shop and walk around with it. You know, that's a good idea. But it's all about the experience of getting a beer here on draft, walking around, just taking in the atmosphere. All the lights are pretty cool. So I think this street stretches pretty far. So it is the Happy Hour Hip Drink and Fun Festival. Well, who thinks the Chinese people can't have fun when they want? They certainly can. They know how to have fun. No matter what you hear about China on the news or in the media or online, whatever, they certainly know how to have fun. Now I'm walking around looking for food stalls because there's something I'm really interested to try. It's a food that's famous here. It's called, I think I'm getting it right, Gu Lao Ru. It's sweet and sour pork. So it's similar if you've, well, I don't know if you've been to Hong Kong or not, but sweet and sour, for example, all around this region is pretty popular in comparison to the other regions in China, like Sichuan. It's very spicy. You know, every region has its own kind of food type, but here is like sweet and sour, and I do like sweet and sour flavour, so I'm hoping I can find something. Just walking around and just take in this atmosphere. It's just buzzing, absolutely buzzing. Bao buns, that's also a good alternative. The soup buns, where you bite in to the dumpling, you suck out the soup, and then you eat the pork usually that's inside with the rest of the dumpling. Very hot though, very, very hot, as in temperature wise, not spice. Just look at this place, honestly. And the smells of all the food. Now, unfortunately, at the moment, all of the food smells are coming from restaurants. I would like to find like a few stalls along the way that you could just grab something small, because if you don't like it, then there's no point in you going into a restaurant and getting a big dish of it. You know, you'd rather kind of sample a little bit, just try out a bit. But we'll keep walking and see if we can find anything. This place is just, well, it's overwhelming with the size of it and the amount of options and the amount of people coming around. Now as you're walking down this part of Beijing Road, look at this. Now I feel like I'm in the Forbidden City. Magic looking. Really, really nice. Obviously very commercialised, but still looks very cool. even have some kind of a K-pop festival or event on. I bet you that's going to get copyrighted now, and I'm going to have to mute that, but you'll at least see what it looks like. This place is absolutely gorgeous, which I've already said, but it's just so strange when you come across a building like that after walking along and just being surrounded by normal shops, you know, like big commercial shops, and then you come across a little area like that. It's pretty cool. And we're back out at the commercial area. I tell you, one thing that I've noticed from the short time that I've spent here in Guangzhou is they really like their bakeries. Really do. Every few stores is a bakery, which I love, because obviously I love bread and cakes, and I've got a sweet tooth, but it's just crazy. I haven't seen this many concentrated together for while I've been going around China. I guess it's just part of the Guangzhou or the Cantonese culture, maybe, just to have these bakeries. Probably an influence from, just say, the Americans and the British that were here, you know, way back when the trading ports opened. So a lot of the food places here, they sell dim sum, so lots and lots of little dishes that you just pick at bits by bit by bit by bit, you know. I can't find my gu lao ru, I believe that's what it's called. Can't find it anywhere. You'd think it'd be easy to find because it's a very popular dish here, but maybe I have to go into a proper restaurant to get it, you know. Maybe it's not really a street food type of dish. I don't really know. I just read about it and I was like, you know what, sweet and sour sounds really damn good. There's other dishes that sound nice, but you know, that's what I want. Gu lao ru. Maybe this is just not the right place to find it, this area. Maybe this is too commercial. Maybe it's more of a comfort food for the people here in Canton. Well, my mission to find what I wanted to eat is unsuccessful. I've tried to look at it in Meituan, I can't find it. I'm going to wait till tomorrow and I'll ask the reception to recommend a place in the hotel, you know, to recommend somewhere even around the hotel. It doesn't have to be in the big busy area. So 100% going to try that tomorrow. But yeah, this place is just pretty damn cool. Just so much going on, it's crazy. So I just took a walk down this really long street. I'm gonna turn back because I actually think I just came down Underwear Street. Every shop is just selling women's underwear. Every single shop. I really don't know how they can compete with each other, like, you know. There's no variation. Like, they literally, all of them sell bras and knickers. Yeah, I just don't get it. Everywhere, all along. Maybe they're men's too, but most of it is just women's. And this also continues all up along this street on the left. The right might be closed off, but on the left, yeah, just undies. See? Well, look, we're gonna have to get something to eat while we're here. And I saw a place a couple of minutes ago around the corner that sells dumplings, homemade. You can see the chef is making them there. So, well, not homemade, he's in his job, but handmade. So I'm thinking we just grab a few dumplings. Dumplings are nice, reliable. And then, well, I guess start making our way back. It's getting late now. As you can see, he's after making them. They have the big pot steaming here. Pretty cool. Bubbling away. Had to get something. I don't know what flavour these are. I just picked dumplings. The mystery. Oh. Well, there we go. 10 dumplings. Have to try and skedaddle around here. So yeah, this is going to be nice. 2 sauces, which is good. Just don't know what they are, but I'll take them. Probably very spicy as usual. Okay, so I smelled the two sauces. This is spicy, this is sweet, kind of barbecue. Moment of truth. Oh. I have to try and find out what it is. It's spicy. It's pork. I think it's a mix. Some of them are pork, some of them are shrimp. Let's try a bit of the spicy sauce though. Ooh. Oh god. What have I done? It's actually not as spicy as it smells. That was shrimp or prawns. That's really good. This cost €2? €2 I think for 10 of them. Which is pretty good when they're freshly made. Especially at a busy place like this. This is a big touristy area, so I just wanted to grab something while I'm here, even though I'm a bit disappointed that I couldn't get the Gulao Roux. Tomorrow we'll get it for sure. So that was lovely. Pretty filling, I tell you. The guy really stuffed those dumplings he did with whatever he stuffed them with. Shrimp, some pork, and all sorts of stuff. But you know what, I realised some of them, because it's a mix of 3 different types of dumpling, there are 3 different fillings, should I say. Some of them were actually just spicy without any sauce, you know? Like really spicy. I can feel it still tingling now at the back of my throat. Weird. So yeah, I'm gonna head back towards the metro station. I'm gonna make my way back. And yeah, try and edit. The internet's a little bit slow now where I'm staying. I don't know how slow it is for YouTube. You know, maybe it's not too bad if I leave it overnight. Like I have to do that quite a lot in China, just because when you're using a VPN, it can slow it down to the point where you're gonna need the night for it to fully do its magic, basically. Old theatre here. It's nice. So yeah, this is the first day in Guangzhou. I tell you, really cool place. Nice, like very different, you know. It's weird, it's hard to explain because yeah, they still have a lot of the same kind of shops and stuff like that when you're going around, but it's very different. Just has a different feel, and I suppose it's the history of the place and the influence from different cultures that have been here for, well, since trading ports opened up. So yeah, I think that's what kind of gives it a unique kind of a feel to it. There's something bright up here. I think this might just be the bridge crossing. We'll check that out first and then I'll say goodbye. Okay, so it turns out, from what I gathered, this is actually the ferry port, the terminal, not the ferry, but the boat trip tours that they have. Buy our tickets here. The boat's just out here to the left. I get past. Yeah, so this is really a lovely place to walk. Well, this is usually, I'm sure, a very nice place to walk along in the evening. It's very peaceful here, lovely when it's lit up. See that boat coming along here. So this place is really lovely to walk along at night time. It's lovely lit up with the bridges and all the buildings along. There's this colourful, multicolored building over there in the background, boats going along. So yeah, really like the vibes here in Guangzhou. But for today, that's gonna do it. Pretty tired now. We've been walking around quite a lot today, and travel it was a half an hour on the train, but you know what I mean. So yeah, that'll do it from today. Tomorrow we'll go and explore a little bit more away from this pedestrian area. Let's see what the hell is going on in Guangzhou. So yeah, thanks for watching. Take it easy. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.